Hi, everyone. Welcome to my podcast series, Stories of Transformation. And today I bring to you yet another guest. Today's guest is really powerful and influencing. Her life journey is incredibly remarkable. She is co founder and director of Be Propel, her innovative HR tech company. She's also a lawyer, a best selling author, certified Posh consultant, and yes, a painter too. And if that's not enough, she's also state level judo champion. Let us all welcome our guest for today, Hema Nandini Gauri. Welcome, Hema. So glad to have you here.
Yeah, thank you so much, Neti, for bringing me here, calling me, and I'm really glad to be here. I hope we'll have a good time today, and it was a pleasure coming here and talking to you again. So,
Yes, so the idea of this podcast is simple. We delve into your life lessons, and the listeners have takeaways that they can carry with them. So I will I like to start with a simple exercise. I like to set intention for the episode. So it's a simple thing. May the listeners receive the guidance, the inspiration, and the answers they are looking for. And may anybody who's looking for anything find
mm.
through these episodes. That's my simple intention for this podcast.
Yeah, such a beautiful intention, Nidhi, and I hope listeners will find what they're actually looking for because in our life there's always something we are looking for. It doesn't matter whatever situation we are, and we don't know how the things will emerge. Sometimes it suddenly emerge from a simple clip or a podcast or anything. If something like
Exactly.
that comes out of it, it will be really wonderful.
Beautifully said, actually, because I realize that sometimes we don't even know what we are looking for, but
Exactly.
something we listen, some
Mm,
experience we listen, and it
mm,
just clicks. And
exactly.
because we sometimes don't know कि और भी लोग go through करते हैं कुछ चीजों के लिए, so
Exactly.
you know that way this is a really powerful activity.
Yeah.
So let's dive into it. I want to
Mm,
know more about your life, and I want you to inspire many more people.
mm.
So let's just begin with a brief of where you come from, your life growing up.
Yeah, so I was born in a very small place in Assam. It is called Dibrugarh. It's a beautiful city. It is called a city of tea gardens. We
Okay.
have grown up surrounded with tea gardens everywhere. It is a city, but in the middle of the city also there are a lot of tea gardens inside. So no, it's a beautiful place to grow up actually. Small city, yet we have all the convenient stuff. Everything is there. So everything is in the vicinity of half an hour, 45 minutes. You will get literally everything. You will get all the amenities also, and then you all get all the natures also with the tea
Wow.
gardens and everything. So it's an amazing place to grow up. And the
Sounds
weather is
good.
amazing. Yeah, weather neither too hot, not too cold.
Wow.
Rainy season. It's like being grown up in Assam. Rains doesn't actually excite me anymore because it's like a 1 week, one or like with if 2 weeks it doesn't rain, then third week definitely it will rain. So it's grow up in a very beautiful, clean place. And then then I did a schooling there. My childhood was pretty. Now when I look back, I feel it was pretty amazing. I grew up with my cousins, and then I did lot of stuff while growing up. I almost learned probably every skill that is there to learn. I will not consider as a skill, but I'll just say learned dancing. I started singing classes also. Just
Wow.
fun, like whatever is there, I go for painting classes also. Weekends were busy or after coming from school also because there was not that much pressure in us. I feel we actually grow up in a very in a stress-free life, we can say. After coming from school, there is nothing though we will go for playing or no extracurricular activities or nothing like tuition or anything like that. We had a
Okay.
pretty chilled out childhood, and then I learned a lot of stuff when I was growing up. I played, I danced, and I learned painting and any skill that I wanted to learn. And it was like, okay, go, like that. So I had a pretty amazing childhood growing up with all the cousins and my brother. So I had a good childhood. And then after 12th, I went to Delhi for my higher studies. I studied in Delhi University. And after graduation, I completed law there also after graduations. And then after that, I worked there for a couple of years. And then I got married and I moved to Karnataka. So that is how the brief journey so far from the studies.
So your life journey sounds like smooth and perfect, but मुझे पता है perfect life किसी की नहीं होती है.
Yeah, exactly.
So time to dive into
Little bit deeper
the
into it.
difficulties. So I want to know, was there any particular moment or experience that changed your life, changed your outlook on life?
Yeah. While growing up, when I actually look back now, everything gave you experience, and from how you are, what you are today, it actually, it is the journey. What defines you of what you are today is because of the journey actually you had. So I grew up in a very, very, you can say, very peaceful environment. But yeah, I was like, there's no conflict or anything as such. But yes, while growing up, there meets everything. People will say, okay, this people will say you are thin, you are short, those kind of things. Actually, I think almost every kid while growing up, they go through, you are dark, you are thin, all those things. That also, I was very thin girl, I was really thin, and I was unhealthy to the extent, almost now I when I
Yes,
see my pictures, I feel maybe I was malnourished also, because I never used to like food. So that ways it was always there. And then people used to call me, well, you are so thin, or you are so dark, you are so tiny, what are you going to do? So those things, I grew up with lot of that ways, grew up with lot of insecurities in life. Then I think that is when I look back, I feel that almost every person, irrespective of how they look or it, somewhere, something or the other, that they will always say, either you will say you are
absolutely.
fat, thin, whatever. And this is how our society was at that point of time. I realize now as a parents, we have I won't say evolved, but we are aware of many more things which probably that time people are not aware of. So we are very conscious about not to say something or something. No, but that time people were to some extent, they whatever they feel they used to say, and irrespective of thinking how the small child or anybody is thinking or feeling or anything like that. So I also grew up with all those, but then a few things have changed in my life. I started playing. I was not inconfident child, but I was not like, I had this complex. I was very thin. I am very weak. I am not a strong person. If somebody beat me, well, I'll get beaten up or something. That is there. And
Okay.
then, yeah, then I started in the one summer. I started, one of my neighbors. He asked me to go and learn judo. So, initially my parents were like, they were skeptical because I was so weak and all. But then I pursued them, and they ultimately gave the permission, and I started playing. At that time, I realized that it has nothing to do with your size or anything. How you feel in your mind is the most powerful thing. That time, I slowly started realizing, even though I was small, but I could realize that you are not discriminated because of the weight or how you look or anything. How you feel or how you can stand on the ground, that actually matters the most. And
Wow.
you should not quit actually at any point of time, because something, if you today, if you lose something else, you will learn or something will come up. And also that give me a opportunity to learn to lose also. When you start losing something or you lost a match, we feel bad. But when you keep on losing, then you will like, it becomes a part of life. It's like, that is okay. Because I have realized that learning to fail is also actually an art, which most of, because when we grow up in a protected environment, we are playing with our father or mother or anybody, they just let us win at times. Then when we actually lose, then it gives, so that time I realized
So
that,
true. So true.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I have realized when it comes to kids also, when they play with their parents, they win. But then one day when they lost to the same parent, they will be throwing tantrum.
Reality check.
Reality check is like, yeah. So then I realized that it is okay to lose. That is okay, because nobody cares actually whether you win or loss. Ultimately, in a practice or anything, there's something, and always look forward to for the next match or whatever. So that give me a new perspective, that, and also don't care about the looks that much. Then once I started playing, I feel stronger physically, and once you mentally, physically, when you start feeling strong, if somebody says, it doesn't bother you that much. So I feel, start when I started actually playing, it gives me a transformation. Then I realized that martial art, even though people say on the face that it is for the self defense, because as a woman we always feel should be, we should protect ourselves. My journey started with learning to be self defense. Then I realized that self defense is actually a small byproduct of what actually gives, because it changed the whole mindset. It is not actually about just going and kicking somebody or throwing somebody. The mindset, the shift that happens when you actually just for one throw or one kick you have to practice for so much. Like months and months, wake up early, practice, do exercise, run, everything, and just for that, a little bit of, showmanship, I can say at that one point, and there's so much of hard work behind it that actually makes you stronger rather than the game itself. Like the journey itself is very amazing. So I feel that is the shift when I realized that never to quit. Not game is not over until it is over. And those kind of words I have heard always, but then I could relate to it when you actually live that life. And my this attitude actually helped me when I moved to Delhi. When I was, I was under a at home I was very protective environment, and then there it's a totally new environment. Me from a very small city with, small, then there's like whole different, ball game altogether, you can say. So
Yes.
that shift, and it is very hard for me initially to adjust when your teachers also not very encouraging, students are also, they are all from different places, so your mindset, your, everything changes, starting from the clothes, the way you look, the way you carry yourself, everything was different. But that also my this mindset for, not quitting until unless, like, not, we keep on trying, that actually helped me a lot. And then I could adjust there with, and then make friends, and once you have started making friends, so life becomes more easy actually. That is true. So I feel that my playing started playing games, and then, you know, having that attitude, getting that actually nothing is we have. It's like our experiences what we made us. So that shift, that when it happens, then I realized that under no circumstances you should not quit. So I think that is, I feel when I look back, that was probably the my transformation. Then I realized that even if you are small, you are tiny, you could actually be strong, like, and physically also I feel I was stronger and then mentally of course we grew. So I think that is the shift I had, and then the rest is followed. The life keeps on giving us lemons and we have to make the lemonade out of it. That is the part of it. Yeah.
Absolutely. So that's amazing, actually. At a very early age, you were able to kind of shape your mindset, your personality in a very strong way. So the sport gave you discipline, it gave you mental, fitness,
Hmm.
mental strength, physical strength. And that is amazing. I think that's more the reason that kids at an early age should be involved in some sort of sport. Listening from your experience, I think it's amazing, and I'm sure whoever is listening will understand the value of, all, not just winning the game, but so many other things we get
Yes,
from engaging in
exactly.
any sort of sport.
Yeah.
Wow, amazing.
In our when we were growing up, sports were never given a much importance. Like, okay, if you are playing, that is also fine, not playing. But now I feel it is very important, especially for a child to learn and how to be, because sports give you, apart from this, they give you the focus. It is very difficult to read a book sitting and studying. But when you are throwing a ball to the, even if you are playing a basketball, that focus you need to put it in the basket, or if you are playing tennis or
And
football, any
consistent
sport.
practice.
Exactly. That every day, if you focus on practice, so it is very easy to focus, even if you are going, reading a book also. So that also gives you tremendous focus, and that I feel could be, learn only through something like sports, that which is you feel we enjoy, because we enjoy also. So that ways we feel great.
Great. So you went into law. And then how did the pivot happen from there? How did it come to creating something of your own? And now you're also an author, and I'm sure you have a mission of your own. I would like to know more about that.
Yeah. Thank you for asking these questions. Well, there's another lesson I have learned, because I feel that each stage we keep on learning something. So another lesson when I learn is, this is the one thing I have realized, being a woman, once you are having a career, then suddenly you get married and you go into that comfort zone of being leading a very, comfort zone, and then you kind of focus on, and the surroundings environment will say you focus on your family, you focus on your kids and all. So at times I feel that we sometimes, without knowing, we are growing in a different way, but we started evolving. We evolve in a different person. I'm not saying a bad, but what I'm saying is at times we tend to ignore our requirements, like what are we actually, or something. I have realized that. So there was a little bit of career break for me after I got married. Then I shifted to a different place altogether, then having kids. And that time, now when I look back, I realized that even though this happens, and this at times it is circumstances made us happen, sometimes it is for our own choice also. But what I feel is that time, even if we're staying at home, we should not stop learning. We should keep on having some skill or something. Your kids are very small, and nowadays I feel we are blessed. We can learn anything from sitting at home. So I feel that we should keep learning. And when I was after marriage, I took a break, and I still keep on learning something or the other. Even though I was lawyer and I was in the place where my law practice was not possible, then I started writing content, and then I started some courses also, though it was very sporadically. But in between I was doing something, or somebody asked me for some to do something, I was in touch with things, but not full. Then when I kids grow up a little bit more, and then we moved to another city, and then I started working, and then I attended few courses also regarding the digital marketing, because I was always been, because I was, when I was a kid, I loved start painting. And I had this, always had the affinity to paint something, create something. That was like always, like even if I have a pen, I'll keep on sketching something or something. So I realized, and I started learning painting also. I'm learning painting. If I have free time for in between or office or somewhere, I'll just say I have sir also. I say sir, I joined a group where the ladies who were staying at home, they learned painting, because they said ki, when they were kid, they learned, and then after that they stopped learning. So they said ki, now we have time, so we'll learn. So then I started learning painting, and then I realized that I have that affinity towards creating, or that side of it. So I explored that side, and then I formed a company with few of my friends, and that we took it off from there. And I'm looking after, even though I'm a lawyer, I look after the legal aspect of it, the drafts and all. And then I look after the marketing division also. Then I started doing a course for marketing also from one of the prestigious institute, ISB.
Okay.
So I keep on doing something or the other. And then I realized that, and it is not a hard work. I thought ki people who, it is lot of hard, it is, but it is actually not. If you love doing what you do, though, it is not exactly that much of a hard work. So I realized that even if we grow, and the author journey happened to me was also, I think sometimes I wanted to write. I used to write when I was very small. I said maybe I was 6, 7 years old when I started writing poetry for magazines also. Then I remember maybe I show something to someone and somebody discouraged me, or somebody says something bad, and I stopped writing. We were kids, like if we are not especially appreciated, we feel yeah. So
Validation चाहिए.
yeah, so I stopped writing, and then my elder one, he writes, so he started writing.
Okay.
So I wanted to help him write. Then I go through, then I learned to how to write, and then learn from the IA. And then I taught him, and then I realized that I wanted to actually teach him how to write. So, and then I realized that I can also write, and I thought what to write. Then I realized that since I'm a parent, so I'm now seeing my two boys growing up, and there are so many things I have learned. And I realize sometimes we feel so much of struggle, and then I realized that maybe if I, whatever I have learned, I can help other people also. So I feel that I should, what I should evolve that side also, because, and also I was very interested in psychology. I
Oh
wanted
my
to
God.
pursue psychology
I
also.
just want to ask one question here. Have you left anything?
Not yet, but I am planning to do a psychology course also. I mean, like, I'm still adjusting the time and
Of
all,
course,
but
one life, do
yeah,
everything.
one life. So I was always fascinated toward that subject. So probably I will do that also whenever I get time. And then I thought ki now, since I'm raising them, so I wrote my book. And then my kid also wrote a poetry book also. So I'm very proud of it, because he also now enjoyed writing. He think in a different way. So how, creative way. So I feel that how you, and also when we do something, our kids also learn from the same way. If we say ki don't watch phone, and if we keep on watching phone, of course they will not going to learn. So if you want your kids to do something, start doing yourself. So I realize it. So now I feel that I'm loving the parenting journey also. So I have a mission also to, to help the mothers how to raise a resilient kid, and when you, especially when you are too busy. And
Wow.
yeah, and also there's one incident which happened actually. That time my kid was very small and he was reading an encyclopedia book. And he came across, because encyclopedia, when a kid is reading, I think he was around 9 or 10 years old, probably 8, 9. There are very stuff which is not appropriate for his age, and it was written in an encyclopedia. We never expect those things. Then I realized that kids are exposed to these things until and unless they know what is facts, what is fiction, or how it is presented to them. It is very important. I still remember when my kids show me those things, I realized that it is not for it was an encyclopedia, and we never expected anything to be like this in the book.
Yeah,
And then no then I feel very unsure what to do. Then I sit and made him keep this is like the scientific, not even, it was not exactly even scientific way also. Even I feel medical books also don't describe. So I realize that kids are not safe. So only way to keep them safe is to make them aware of things, what is right, what is wrong, and be connected with them. And I feel, and then only they will come and tell you, otherwise they're not going to tell you.
I agree.
So that ways I feel ki now we always blame the phone, but my kids, but books are also not safe. That's what also I wanted. And especially even encyclopedia, any kind of books, like, so you don't know who is the author, how, who has written, and we cannot keep a tab on each and everything that your kid is doing or watching or reading. So I feel that only way to have is to empower them rather than trying to protect them. So make them aware of it, what is wrong, what is right. And the digital literacy nowadays is a must. I feel it doesn't matter whether kid is like 8 years old, 9 years old, or 5, 6 years old. So you have to let them know what is right, what is wrong, and also give them a reason. I realize that kids are very smart. If you give them a reason, they will listen to you. If you blindly say, just because I'm telling you, they're not going to listen.
Yes, so true. Yes, I totally agree with you. And yes, better than protecting them, it's better to make them aware before they get
Exactly.
exposed to those things so that
Mm.
they know they can come to us. I totally
Yeah,
love this thought, and I completely agree as a
yeah,
mom
because
myself.
yeah. So because one day or the other they will be exposed to those things. So that is something which you cannot, nobody can protect actually. So I feel that it is time for them to empower them, and
And I
then
think they should know that they can talk to us
yeah,
and they will
exactly.
not be judged.
Yeah, exactly. Because everything is, it is also a part of growing up. And also I feel we are as all our as kids. Like if our kid is 5 years old, we as a parent, we are 5 years old. So
Yes,
we are also not perfect. We are also going through the same journey. So at times we should
correct.
not be that hard on ourselves. Because after all, I say if I make a mistake, I tell them you are 12, I am also 12 years old only when it comes to parenting. So you have to spare me sometime. Because at one
I
point
love
of
that
time,
thought. I'm going to use that.
yeah, I realized that actually, and it's like it is okay to make mistakes, of course. Like, and also okay to admit also. So if you admit, then your kids also will admit.
Yeah, correct. I admit mistakes like
Mm.
me also. I don't shy away from saying sorry when I need to because my child should know that, okay,
Mm.
I deserve to get an apology. And
Yeah,
that first comes from home only.
yeah, exactly.
वहीं से self-worth बनता है.
Yeah, I know. So that is why I thought I'll start writing, and then my book, this I wrote. Raising Resilient and Confident Child. And this is, I feel, I have, it is a very small book. So because we sometimes feel we normally browse through the books sometimes when you don't have time. So I made it in such a way that people will see, okay, these are the points that needs to be done. Because I at times also, I just browse through the book and pick up, or we scan and think which is
Yes.
relevant to us or applicable to us. It falls in our eyes. So that ways. And apart from that, I have put some cute incidentals also about how our kids, about this kind of comic incidents which happened to me, this kind of daily defeats, I can say, how your kids to tantrum, what kind of things that we face every day.
Yeah.
That also I've done. So I think, and also I wanted to, so this is the book my kid has written for a
Oh,
poetry
wow.
book.
Poems.
Yeah,
Amazing.
book of poems. So I'm really proud of him that he has written such a beautiful poet, because poetry is also, it's another genre altogether. And I am not that confident to write poetry, but since he has dared, and then I like the way he wrote and style. So I'm really proud. I feel that, yeah, it is worth it.
Yes, of
I wrote 10
course.
pieces, me
I
writing, and
love
he
that.
start writing. So it's like, yeah, as it's worth it actually, because it kind of gives you a sense of, the pleasure that you get when you see your book, holding in your hand. That is something which only an author can understand actually. It doesn't, even though I feel that one should have, everybody should have that feeling, ki, how it feels like something to be, call on your own entirely.
Yes.
Uh, Semi, you have written two books, I think, right? Yeah.
Yes, two
So
solo and one
you know the
anthology.
feeling how it feels,
Yes.
and I have read both of them, and they are really amazing and really very insightful. I love your journey, how you have depicted, and it's like really amazing.
Thank you. And I have same like you feel. I also have been trying to get my kid to write her book.
Yeah.
And though she herself was writing, but
Mm.
because I told her, she stopped. So now I have going to let it be
Ah.
again.
Mm.
Struggle. So when you write about teenagers, let me know because
Yeah, I'm
right
planning to
now,
write about it exactly, because I have now gathered so many materials, and few of my friends also, because my kid is also entering into teenage phase, and
yeah, she's just
few of,
turned 13.
yeah,
So
yeah, my
in
kid
that
is 12,
phase,
so he'll be turning 13 days. So I'm thinking how he's behaving and all. I thought, ki, yeah, I'll probably go deep dive into this, because then when we are, that is what I feel. We are as old as our kids. The moment our kids touch one, will start reading the books about 1 year old,
yes,
2 year old, 3 year. Now the teenagers will start, going into deep dive, because I feel there is a shift happens. I can see it will also, if you notice, when your child hits 13, 12, a slight shift has started happening. They started evolving themselves, and they started thinking a little bit differently. And so it is very important to make them feel safe, I feel. Ki, okay, you can come to us no matter what. I'm not going to judge you. Even if we feel like judging, because after all, we are also human beings at times, we feel like judging, yeah. And at
yeah,
times, I realize that we should not judge their friends also.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
They
because
are all growing.
they're all growing, because they are also small kids. Sometimes, as parents, I have seen people say this is not good, this is not, but that is not exactly true. And I feel no circumstances you should not label any kid, be it your kid or somebody else's kid, because they are also evolving. You don't know today. At 12, 13, they could be awkward, but later when they are like grown up, they could be amazing personalities. And
Yes,
also, I have seen the naughty kids always grow up to be something amazing. I have seen it.
yes,
The
yes.
kids who are the naughtiest in the class, he will do something so amazing in life. It's like, wow.
And sometimes even the quiet ones, I believe,
Yeah, they
they
also
really
transform
shine.
so beautifully. Exactly. So I feel you just grow at your own pace, doesn't matter. Life
So
will,
amazing.
yeah,
I
they will
think
make the
it
transformation.
comes from your journey, from your childhood only. And I think you're carrying those lessons and kind of transforming them into a
Yeah,
guidebook for people. And I especially love how in your book you have especially mentioned that for busy moms.
yeah.
That because that is really important.
Yeah,
Uh,
because we feel whether you are staying at home or working, you are ultimately busy only. So it
yeah,
doesn't matter whether home is
moms are
ideal,
busy.
yeah. So both are busy. So I feel that sometimes we have a feeling, ki, okay, even if you are staying at outside or staying at home, ultimately you are not sitting, you are also doing all the work and everything. And be there for the family. And it is not exactly an easy job. So I feel that no matter what, everybody is busy only. So, and we don't have time to relax, and how people expect people who are staying at home to relax, that never happens. So that is I feel ki, even if you get 10-15 minutes for yourself, I also think in that way. If I get 10-15 minutes for myself, I'll just browse through a book and see what are the things that I can, learn from it. And then if you can finish a book within 1 hour, I'm like very happy. Okay, I finished it. So
So
I
I
would
love
just
this.
give that feeling to that one of my readers also. Okay, you can finish a book. You don't have to worry about anything else. Just go through it. Okay, this is important for you. Learn it. This is not relevant to you. You can just ignore and no move forwards. That is what I feel.
So I love the way I think your mission currently is that you're empowering both moms and their kids because
Yeah,
through moms, kids will be empowered.
yeah.
So I love this mission of yours.
Mm.
So what is there in the future? What are we looking forward to after this?
After this, I'm writing another book that is there, and there are a lot of things I wanted to do, and I have the like I already made a list of it. We'll get to know slowly, slowly, because at
Slowly.
times I feel everything is in a planning stage now. This I want because I realized that every time you plan something and somehow it happens. If you are planning to do this, if you write it down and if you know deep thing dive into it and all, it actually happens, and then the idea started crystallizing in your mind. So when the things happen, it automatically happens even if you're without any effort. Things sometimes it comes to our life, and then circumstances become such that we kind of go in that directions. So what I feel is that ki you should not stop learning for any way. If you want to learn something, just learn. And now I feel we are really blessed. We can learn anything. But I feel that we had a very peaceful childhood without much distractions. But our kids have a
Oh
much
yeah.
tougher life. There's
And same for the elders as well, I believe.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
also very distracted.
So I feel that our kids are having such a tough time because now they don't only have we had the pressure ki okay study even if you don't do literally anything life will be sorted, but now it is not like that. See, your kids have to learn something, you have to have some skills, you have to learn something, you have to play an instrument, you have to play some other things, like you have to learn how to speak all those things, and
Yeah,
this is
only academics will not
was
do.
not going to work. So I feel they are living a very tough life. So just I feel
Too
we
many
have for
expectations.
them and let them sometimes take a lead and let them fail and all those things, and then learn from their mistakes and be there to save and so that they are safe. But other than that, it's important, and I feel I'll be able to do more, helping them to and helping parents also, mothers also. And also as a woman also, I feel that we should, as we always lift each other up, and that also, so that is all I have in plan. So other things I have already written it down. Let's see when it comes to so but I'm planning to write the next book that is already in the pipeline. I have started it, then in between I had stopped, and again I have to start because sometimes we feel that okay, this we should include, and but I have to stop including things and just that
Yeah,
maybe, yeah, that also one thing, because the more we refine the things, will every day we learn,
absolutely.
but that is something it will keep coming. So that also I have to finish. Thing I want to say. Yeah.
So I love the fact that after doing so much and after learning so much, I mean, you have so many layers to you. You have, stuck yourself to the very core that is, developing a human, especially child. You have dedicated yourself to
Mm.
focus on that early stage because that is the building foundation, right?
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
that is exactly what you learned in your growing up days as well.
Mhm.
So I
Mm.
love your, core focus. That's amazing. So we know that you are a very disciplined person. Early on, you established that. But, you know, for me, daily rituals and habits and practices are also very important. I want to know your daily habits or your rituals that keep you, strong, energized, and sane.
Yeah. There are a few things I do daily. I have, but this is like you cannot say. Even though when I was this athlete, I was more disciplined. That is true. But once you get out of it, you kind of lose track. But I always concern about my weight. If I am getting, because after kids born and then even though I was very thin earlier, but we tend to gain weight. So I always keep a tab on it. Consciously, I used to keep a tab on it, because if I am gaining weight, I'll do something so that I'll lose weight. It's not like consistent. But last 1 year on NFS, I have become very conscious when it comes to walking. Even if I cannot do anything else, I will walk no matter what. And I started with giving a gap on Saturday, Sunday. Now I don't. Doesn't matter whether it's a Saturday, Sunday. If it is raining, I will walk in the basement only. I've
Okay.
realized that, yeah. So no matter what, I always walk because suddenly I am planning to run also, but I'm not sure whether I'll be able to do it or not. But walking I have maintained, and that is the and I doing started doing meditation. That I never earlier actually used to do, and I realized that how actually it helps, and you feel so sorted, centered when you start doing it. Because initially I used to mess up everything, and I so many things to do. The to do list, not it is a never ending to do list. This and then what to do, what not to do. Those things were there. But I once I started meditating, I realized that it's very. It gives you a little bit of sense of yourself, and then centered. I feel probably
Centered.
the right
Absolutely.
word. And then you can actually plan everything, and even if you don't get it done, that is also you feel fine. So that I feel is very important. That is the two thing I do every day. That is something which
These are
that
the basics
these
and
two
the most
things
perfect
that is,
that anybody
yeah.
will benefit from.
Yeah, even
Uh,
if like not maybe for half an hour, if I cannot meditate for half an hour, 15, just 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever
yeah.
it is. Yeah. At least do it as a make it a habit. And then if you have more time, do more. If you don't have more time. And I realize if you walk daily and be mindful of what you eat, not to eat, especially I have stopped eating junk food. Like, occasionally I eat, but not like, sitting, working and eating something binge or something. That also I have consciously that thing I have done. If I'm feeling hungry or something, I'll put some healthy or other, I will drink a glass of water. That
Amazing.
I've realized, and I can see without doing much of exercise or just walking, I have lost weight. So, and I feel lighter. So I feel that there are a few very easiest things actually, and sometimes it's not always you have to go to the gym. Sometimes easy things also you could lose weight. So because sometimes we feel we don't get time to go to the gym or time to go to any yoga class or something. Na? I have tried all, but sometimes timings doesn't match on us. So I thought at least start with this and then we'll see.
Yes.
And then I think it is working. So I thought okay, maybe these are the things I'll do. If I have more time, I'll do more.
So as long as you're conscious about it and
Yeah.
taking steps, mindful choices,
Mm-hmm.
then apne aap you will find a way, and
Yeah.
what you're doing works for you. So
Yeah, it's what
that's
I'm
great.
doing, it actually works for me. Then I realized that this is probably the way. Because everybody is different. I have never had
Yes.
a problem of weight gain as such. So even if I gain weight, I get to know I take care of it and it's kind of sets a balance. So what, So
Because
but I
you're
think,
already mindful about your
I
body.
was always been mindful about it. So that is, and because
Okay.
earlier I used to feel funny because earlier I used to be so thin. And now people say, oh, you have gained weight. But when the people who knew people, they see you are still thin. But people who knew me from earlier, they said you have gained so much of weight. So that I feel it's very, very funny, I feel, because according to my height weight, I feel I'm okay. Uh,
No, but nothing is perfect. Na? Same people, if they were calling you thin,
so
nothing is
they say,
perfect for
no.
people.
No, and they actually say it in a complimentary because I used to
Oh,
be so thin. So they said, oh, nice, you have gained weight. So it's
notice
like,
the change. Oh.
so
So, do you also try to implement this kind of discipline or daily ritual in your kids' life as well?
I try, but I feel it is a bit hard because I asked them to go for like go outside to play. That is something I always ask them to go. I've given them in sports also, whether they like it or not. I said just just learn it. It doesn't matter whether you want to pursue or not, but at least initial stages I want you to go for it. I have given them in music also. I have given them in drawing also. So I said be busy in a sense you love, then only you will know what you actually like and what you don't like. And then I know never say if you want to learn something, I said learn it. There's also you can like studies is always there, but other things also you have to learn. Study you will have to do anyway, whether you love it or not, it doesn't matter. But other things you should not quit. So I teach them not to quit just because it is hard or something. It is difficult at times, but yeah, I said don't quit. Learn it for a couple of days. If you like it, fine. If you don't like it, then you can decide. Because I have seen kids who learn music in the beginning, then they left, and then when they grow up, they started becoming amazing musicians because they learned it in this gap I have seen. So they, you know, that at times kids they feel ki no, we don't want to do this, we'd rather do something else. But later I said one day you will thank me when you grow up. I keep on saying that ki you learn the skill, and then later when you grow up, it will help you somewhere or the other, because I feel no, nothing that you learned will actually go in vain.
Yes.
Whatever you learn, you feel that is useless, but actually you don't know
Yeah.
how it will help.
So
So,
true.
uh, so it doesn't, even if you learn a simple thing, you don't know how it is actually going to help you. So I said, keep learning. Don't stop learning just because holiday is there, do something else. But I keep telling. Because I
Amazing.
love learning, so I learn anything, like whatever I wanted to learn or something.
I
It's
totally love this attitude of yours. I think everybody should be a forever learner. So am
Mm,
I, now
mm.
beginning to be.
Yeah,
So, wow, we had some amazing, sharings from you,
sharing fun, yeah.
and you have had an interesting life, and you have such interesting perspective. So we are looking forward to your next book as well.
Okay.
And I just want to end with one final message from you that
Mm.
you want to leave our listeners with.
I will say he never stop learning. I think I'll say that it doesn't matter whether you are working, not working, sitting at home, not sitting, and busy, not busy. Always try to learn something new. Either if not every day, every 15 days, every month or something. Just even if you take a course or something, even if you let it, even if you don't attend this or something, at least learn something, because everything will give you something you will learn new, and it is help you in some way. So it doesn't matter, just keep learning, or you can learn anytime. And now we can learn anytime, anywhere. Even,
Yes,
this every we took up a phone, we can actually want to. You don't have to pay. Also, you go to YouTube, you learn. You wanted to learn something, one click, and you can actually get an idea of it, and you can actually know where to start. After that something, but to start something or to start learning something, something that you really love. And once you found something that you really love, you will automatically go in that directions. So that's what I feel. Never stop growing yourself just because you are a mom or you are a wife or you got
that's
married or something. Yeah.
perfect. And I totally resonate with that. Be a
Hmm.
forever learner.
Yeah.
That's my motto too.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much for this beautiful message, Hema. It was lovely having you. Thanks once again.
Yeah. Thank you for having me here and had a beautiful conversations, and all the best to you also for your books, for your coachings and everything. I really hope, and I know how beautiful person you are, so I know it will be amazing. So I'm looking forward to you for
Thank you
your.
so much. It was really, really amazing. I had so much fun.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.